Hello and welcome back to my channel, Darling Plays Games. So today we are going to be doing something a little different. I know I'm used to usually posting Sims 2 Let's Builds, and so today we are going to be doing a Sims 3 speed build. So I was thinking in my mind, what do I want to build? Like, I didn't want to build a community lot because we had just done that in one of the previous builds that I did on my channel. So I thought I wanted to do something residential. And so then I was thinking, okay, well, what type of house do I want to build? And after a lot of thinking about it, like, do I want to build an apartment? Like, what do I really want to build? So I ended up actually building a 70s themed house. So this is a suburban house. I think it has 3 or 4 bedrooms. I end up making it. And it came out really, really nice. I'm super happy with the way it came out. This is actually the first time I've ever done a decades kind of build, at least for the 70s. I think I built, when I was playing for myself, I built like a 1800 style house in The Sims 4, I think it was. But I've never built a 70s style house, and I thought that The Sims 3 would be like the perfect place to build it, simply because there's so much like with the creative tool, like the creative wheel and all that kind of stuff that's going on. A creative style, I couldn't even think of the word creative style. With that going on, like, there's a lot for you to kind of customize and just to get it like just right. Like, I'm sure if I would have tried this in The Sims 4, it probably wouldn't have come out so detailed, but I'm really happy with the way this came out. So I'm just gonna kind of talk you guys through like my process and how I go about building houses, because a lot of you guys seem to like the way I build and how I approach building. So the first thing I did was I built like the shell. I kind of built like the general shape of it, and I wanted to see like where our room's gonna go, like kind of keeping that in mind, but obviously leaving some like leeway for me to add on to rooms and all that kind of stuff. So here I was just picking out like the basic colors. I picked that like really ugly pea green for the siding because I know that that's what that was the 70s color back then. And I put bricks on the down floor. I was looking up some reference images, so like when I was editing this video, I had to do a lot of like cutting out parts of the video because I was taking so long to find reference images for this. It was kind of challenging, but it was really, really fun. So I think I might do something like this again in the near future, of course. Maybe like a different decades kind of style house or decades community lot. But yeah, this one, maybe I'll do like the 80s or something like that. I'm not quite sure. So here I am. I was doing the landscaping. I would have done this off camera, but I kind of wanted everybody to see how I landscape. Now, I'm not like the best landscaper. Like, I was trying really hard. I was trying to really think like, where would everything go? Because usually for myself, like for my builds, I don't really pay much attention to the landscape and like where stuff goes. Like I pay it some attention, but not probably as much as I should. But here I was really trying to be mindful of like, where should the trees go and where should this go? And here I'm building the sunroom. It becomes a sunroom. I added on. I thought it would be nice to have that there. And then like on this side, I make like a little back porch area. I don't know if I'm gonna do it right now, but I put down some of the bricks so that way that it could be like a porch kind of area. Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out like what doors, and here I am trying to like match the colors for the door. A lot of what you'll see here is me trying to like fiddle with the colors to get it just right, and fiddle with the textures to get it just right, which I love the creative style. Why do I always keep forgetting that that's what it's called? I love the creative style tool in The Sims 3. Like, a lot of people say that they don't need it in The Sims 4 or like The Sims 2, but I love The Sims 2 and I love building in it because it's really challenging to not use that much like CC or to like have everything be so limited. I love the challenge of that, but at the same time, like, I love that in The Sims 3, everything is kind of like, you can make it so specific, like it's so customizable. And here I am adding like dirt and stuff, and I put dirt along the pathway so that way it could kind of look worn out. And of course, lawn flamingo there, because I feel like that's a really 70s thing. I'm not quite sure if the lawn flamingo came out in the 70s or the 80s, but I put it in there anyway because it seemed like something really tacky. This is the garage, I believe. Yeah, that's the garage. So here I am, I'm putting in two like old cars. As you'll see, I make like a basic layout right now, and I was really struggling with the layout because I didn't know where I wanted everything to go, and I was trying to put like platforms in and foundation in on the inside, but it wasn't working because sometimes The Sims 3 kind of glitches out and it'll say like it can't level the terrain for some reason. So I wasn't able to like do a sunken living room. That's something that I really wanted to do, but I wasn't able to do it. But I still think that it came out pretty accurate to the decade. So here I am, I have this little hallway there, and I was initially, you'll see, I put a crib there because I was initially going to make that like the master bedroom over there in that corner on the first floor. But then I ended up changing my mind and I went with putting the master bedroom upstairs, which came out really cool, and it looks like a product of this time when we get there. So here I am putting on the doors and trying to figure out where the stairs go. So usually what I do is I try to base my layout around the stairs, and I try to see where the stairs are going to go first because it's such a huge part. Like, I've learned through all of my gameplays in like The Sims 4 that the stairs are such like a huge part of the entire build that you have to, well, not that you have to, but like what I like to do is I like to put them down first and then build around it. So that's what I was trying to do. And this room, the reason why I was going to make it a master bedroom was because it has this back porch area that I'll be changing around and fixing later when we get more into the video. And you'll see that the layout, I think I was mentioning it earlier, but you'll see that the layout changes. And that's because my game glitched out and it actually crashed. And I didn't save for like an hour, which was my fault, but like I lost a lot of my progress. I think I lost the entire layout and some of the outside stuff. So when I loaded back up the game, there wasn't a lot of stuff done, and I was upset, but I was still able to do it. And honestly, I like the way I made the layout in the second in the like the revival. Would you call it a revival? What would you call like the second the second time around, I guess. So here I am trying to figure out which floor textures I want to use. I knew that I wanted to do wood, so I was looking for like a good wood texture, and I was paying attention to like the color. That is a color that came with the texture that's there, so I didn't have to alter it, which I was happy about. I think, yeah, this is still the first like iteration of the house, but when I do it over again, and here I am trying to like choose a funky wallpaper, I still kept that same floor color. And I love the wallpaper on this, so like it looks so 70s. Like this house literally looks like it could be on a sitcom. I was so happy with the way the colors came out, and like when the kitchen, we're gonna do it in a second, and I put some wood paneling in certain places. So the kitchen we're gonna do in a minute. I don't know when I'm gonna get to it. I think I'm gonna get to it now because I think I did the kitchen and I started on this bedroom and then my game crashed and I lost all of that data. And here I am trying to pick out like a good wallpaper, and then I was like trying to fiddle with the color so that way it could look really like 70s and like retro. But yeah, the kitchen literally looks like something out of a sitcom. Like it looks like a sitcom that you see in the 70s, like Three's Company. And yeah, here I am picking out the carpeting for this bedroom. That at that stage I still thought that it would be a master bedroom. So that's what I was kind of building with keeping that in mind when I was building it. And I'm putting some carpeting in the living room. That's going to be the living room space over there. And here is the kitchen. Yeah, I was fixing the counters. I love those counters for this kitchen, but I just had to make them like a little bit lighter. They were a little too dark. So yeah, this is what I did before it got glitched out and it crashed. But when I went and loaded back up the game again, I copied it. Like, thankfully I remembered exactly what the kitchen and what I think I did some of that bedroom, or I think I did a bathroom, but I remembered exactly what it looked like, so I was able to copy it like pretty exactly. So when it jumps forward ahead like a few minutes from now, you'll see that it's kind of different. Like, it might look a little different, and that's because I tried to remember how I did it, but I think I did it pretty much exactly the way I planned it out. So here I am furnishing the kitchen. The drapes, I wanted them to have like some ugly pattern on it because, you know, it was the 70s, and you know how that is. The patterns it was like patterns galore in the 70s. And the appliances you'll see are like that real like green color. I think that was like the main color that I used throughout the entire house. Like, as you'll see in the bathrooms, which are going to be coming up soon, I made them to be, they look so 70s. It's actually kind of hilarious, but I love it so much. And I had to put a fireplace. I wanted to put a fireplace there because, first of all, it's outside, and so you know how in The Sims 3 the fireplaces like have the huge chimney coming out the back? Like, I know there's cheats that you can get rid of it, but I like the way it looks, so I wanted to keep it. And that was like the only area of the house that's like kind of open to the outside that it wouldn't be a problem. So I thought it would be cool to have that there. And here I am picking out the chairs for the dining room. I don't think I put a rug here in the first iteration, because this is still the first iteration of the build. So I put a rug underneath the table here, but I don't think I ended up putting a rug in the second part. And a lot of these furnishings, well, not a lot of them, but some of the furnishings are a little bit different too. So here I am adding some plants and stuff, and I wanted to put that huge, I was looking through the, I think that's the Showtime pack, if I'm not mistaken. Or is it, no, it's not Ambitions, it's the Showtime pack. Yeah, so they have a lot of good, like, 70s looking stuff in there. So here's the bathroom. Like I said, it is green, like baby poo avocado green. Like, it is, and I wanted it because I was looking up pictures on, like, Pinterest and stuff, because I didn't know exactly what, like, I have an idea of what I wanted, but I didn't know exactly like what color scheme I should go with. So I ended up using green for like the main bathrooms, mostly because, well, I saw like a lot of green bathrooms on like Pinterest and stuff like that, but also because it ties in with like the rest of the build. Like, there's a lot of green everywhere in this build. And here I am, yes, this is the second iteration of the build. So like, it still looks pretty accurate to the first few minutes, but I actually rebuilt all of this, and that's why I was putting in those cars again, because that got deleted as well. And here I am adding a small laundry space. You see, like, the wine cabinet thing is not outside of the garage anymore because it got deleted. So here I am adding the laundry space, and I wanted to put some like tacky stuff up on the walls because I didn't know what else to put up there. And here I am redoing the curtains again and putting the tomato curtains back up there, and putting the wine cabinet back, or the not the wine cabinet, but like the bar thing that's there. And here I am putting in some plants. I ended up changing that around a little bit. And I wanted to do the entryway. I did like a lot of it kind of scattered around, and that's kind of how I build, is that I do it very scattered. I try to stick with one room. Like, I'll try to just stay in one room and build in one room. Like, I'll try to do the kitchen and just stay in the kitchen, but it never like works out for me, because then if I'm looking through the catalog and I'm looking for decor to put in the kitchen, and then I see something and I'm like, oh, that reminds me, I should put that in the bedroom, and then I have to go upstairs and like throw that in the bedroom, and I'm just like really scatterbrained when it comes to doing these builds, which is fine, because it gets the job done. So the packs that I mainly used in this build were really the Generations pack, and I think it's Showtime. I use Generations and Showtime a lot. Like, those were the basis of of this build. I'm using these really green and yellow couches that are, like, I guess modern times a travesty, but I thought they fit in so well. I can't remember what pack they are from. I think they're from Generations, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember, but I thought it went really well, and I was trying really hard to make this coffee table work. Like, I was trying to figure out where to put the coffee table and then where to put that end table, and I thought that end table would be cool to put there, because it has like it looks like it has like a TV guide and stuff like that, and it like magazines and all that old stuff, all those old like by the TV things that you usually have. And there's a lot of plants in this build, as you will see as we get through it. But yeah, I love to put plants everywhere, even in old builds, I guess. I just thought it fit with the green theme that we got going on. And I put that giant bookshelf against that wall because I thought it fit really well too. Like, it just looks like something that's really old, and like by today's standards, if you went into your grandparents' house, you would probably see that. And here I am I'm turning my attention towards the upstairs now, because the downstairs is like mostly done. So I started doing the upstairs, and basically I copied and pasted most of the items from the downstairs bathroom and just moved them upstairs, except for a shower. So this house has, I think, 2 bathtubs and 1 shower. And here I am changing the shower to be really green, and that like avocado green, and I was looking for the right tiles to put in the background too, in the back of the shower. And that shower is from Generations too. But everything is just like green, like it's just avocado green, like the sink and everything. I love the look of it. And this is I think it's like a little, I could have put the laundry area here, so it's like a laundry room without the washing machines. So I moved that little like ironing board set thing that I had downstairs, and then I ended up putting a chair here. Yeah, like a comfortable chair there, and some plants and stuff like that downstairs. But upstairs, I had like a little laundry nook there. And when I was first building this, I had the idea, like I said, to make that room on the side with the little patio. I wanted that to be the master bedroom, and then I was gonna have like a nursery on the side. But I ended up changing my mind, and this room that we're looking at right now actually becomes the master bedroom with the wallpaper and stuff like that inside of it. And the bathroom is disgustingly pink. It is so pink and so like of its time. It's actually hilarious. But I think it came out pretty nice. So here I am working on the bathroom, making all the tiles really like bubblegum pink. And I struggled here with finding a bed that I wanted. So I had to there was like a jump cut just now because I had to cut out a lot of me trying to find a bed. It took me so long. I think I was looking for a bed for like 10 minutes or something like that. And then I finally just settled on this one because when I was building it, I was keeping in mind like what kind of, but my mind was kind of going towards like the 80s. So I was trying to think of like the style of furniture. And then I started thinking about the 80s, and then I kind of realized that, oh, it should look a little bit dated, like a little older. So I chose that 4-post giant bed, and an old TV upstairs too. And here I am putting in like the dresser and stuff like that, just changing the style of it. And that giant wardrobe thing that's there, it's from, I think, Generations. And I thought it fit in because if we're thinking about this room, it is from the 70s, like this house is from the 70s. So like their furniture is like, they can have furniture from the 40s and not think that it's like that old, because I know that I have furniture in my house or like things in my house from the 90s, and it's like, that's not really that old. So when you think about it, like the style of what is here is probably gonna be, it's gonna be so much more different. That's why I chose that really old looking bed, because, you know, I thought it just fit in. And there I am making the bathroom, the pinkest bathroom possible. It's like bubblegum pink, but it's hilarious and I love it. Like I said, this house reminds me of just like a sitcom. Like it really just looks like a sitcom house. And here I am putting in lights. So like there's a lot of lights here, as you can see. Like I put in a lot of lights, but don't worry, I changed the lights around. It was just because I wasn't like in debug or anything like that. So I put a whole bunch of lights so that way I can see. But when I give you guys the tour in a minute of like the actual house, I put the invisible debug lights in there so that way it looks much brighter with less lights taking up all that camera space. So here is the, I think I'm working on the guest room. So this downstairs, I thought it was going to be a master bedroom, and then I ended up changing it to be a guest bedroom. So it's not like super well decorated and well furnished, but I think it has just enough to be like an acceptable bedroom for you to have guests and stuff like that, like maybe sleepover parties, you know, whatever. If you want a sim to sleep over, I think that's a pretty okay room for them to sleep in. And here on the side, so what was going to be the nursery and the master bedroom, this is now an office. I was fixing it up. It's just a small office. There's like nothing really like fancy about it at all, especially because this is like the time before computers in your house and stuff like that. So it's just, I used one of those giant bookshelves again, and it's just really a desk. So here I was trying to find a hot tub, but I realized that it wasn't gonna fit, so I just put in some chairs, some like lounging chairs, and I put in a lot of plants because, like I said, I love putting plants. Like if there's one thing about me, is that I'm gonna find my way to put a plant in my builds, like to put, like there has to be a plant somewhere. So there I had plants, and here I'm working on the sunroom, and the sunroom has a few plants too. Like it has a decent amount of plants. And I was fiddling with the flooring, and then I started fiddling with the blinds and what I wanted to do there, and then I ended up realizing that the blinds kind of like get in the way, so I put those other blinds that are there. I just thought those big ones were really like, this is super 70s, like, you know, that was a really 70s thing, but I figured that those were just as good. So yeah, I put in a few plants there and those double lights, which will change. This room is really just for like hobbies and for you to, I mean, I guess you could sit here with your Sims, but it is a sitting room, like a sunroom, but you know, it doesn't really serve like much of a purpose in the Sims, no matter what Sims game you build. So I just put it as a hobbies room, so that way like you can have a Sim who paints and they can come out there and paint. And here I am adding the landscaping that I actually wasn't able to save when my game crashed. So I was re-adding some things back in and trying to figure out where everything should be going. And I added a treehouse in the back over there. And here is a little garden area. So I wanted this house for when people downloaded it, I wanted it to have a fair amount to do in terms of skills. So I made a little garden patch there for your Sims so they can garden and stuff like that. I didn't add any flowers or anything, but it's just there if you want to have it there. And here I am trying to figure out the layout of the back porch kind of area. What would you call this? I don't know. But I'm trying to figure out like the back porch situation. I thought slip and slide was very like old school. Not the big one, because there's like two different ones here in the Sims 3. There's like that one with all the sharks and stuff like that, and then there's that one that's just kind of plain. So I thought that one would fit there. And I was trying to put like some chairs back here. I was thinking of doing lounge chairs, but then I was like, no, I'm not gonna put those huge lounge chairs there. And I was thinking about what kind of plants to put. Like, I wanted plants here too. And I think that those two plants together are like the signature plant for me. I kept putting them together in like all aspects of this build. And then I went back upstairs and I started doing the other bedrooms because I did the master bedroom and I wanted to finish the other ones. One of the rooms is blank. I think this room actually right next to the nursery is blank. So I left it blank in case you want to build something or like do something there just to have a free space. But it does have 3 fully furnished rooms. So here is the nursery. I was really struggling, I think, with the color palette on the nursery. I was trying to figure out, like, I was Googling a bunch of pictures, and I was thinking, okay, what colors is a nursery in the 70s? So I was looking up images on Google, 70s nursery. And the one thing that I noticed that it was very colorful, so I put a lot of, like, color into the bedding and into the changing table up there, and the curtains and everything. Everything just looks like Fisher-Price kind of threw up all over this room. And there's like a little rainbow there, which I thought was nice. And I love that bookcase from Generations, I think it's from. That bookcase, I put it in all of my kids' rooms. Like, I never give them a regular bookcase. I just think it's so cute. And I thought that that huge, whatever, that giant picture on the wall with the ribbon, I thought that that was very retro, very vintage, as they say. And those chairs, that giant chair there is like super retro too. So I thought it looked cool in this room. And I think that's a store item. I don't think I used any CC in this build because I have a few pieces of CC for myself. But when it came to this build, I didn't want it to not be accessible for anyone. But I don't think that that really matters too much because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think a lot of the times CC, if you download a house with CC in it, it automatically downloads the custom content onto your game. But I think that only works with custom content that comes in as a game pack though. But still, I try not to use any CC regardless. And here we have a bedroom. I made this as like a teen's bedroom, but I think you could use it as a kid's bedroom too if you wanted to, if you really wanted to. But it's really, I made it in mind was a teenager using this bedroom. So here I am putting in their desk and everything. I love using that chair. I thought it looked a little more like, and you'll notice that in the downstairs and like the office area, I used that chair too, because I thought it just looked a little more like, not lived in, but I thought it was cooler to kind of put that there because it's like, oh, we just grabbed that chair from the dining room and brought it upstairs. Like, it just seemed a little more real to me, instead of just putting an office chair there, which, you know, I mean, office chairs, people have office chairs, but, you know, I just thought it looked cooler like that. And here I am putting this giant board down, and I was trying to really think about what does a teenager's bedroom in the 70s look like, and like what details, not details, but like what little accessories and like decor would a teenager in the 70s have? And I was gonna use this little chair, but I ended up not using it. I think I switched it to like a beanbag chair. Yeah, I think I switched that chair out. Yeah, here I am looking for it right now. But this room, I love this room, and I made it yellow to make it gender neutral, so that way a boy or a girl or you know, whatever gender of sim you have in here, they can use this bedroom. Like, it doesn't have to be like strictly a boy or strictly a girl or whatever. So I tried to make it with that in mind, and like tried to keep the yellow gender neutral, and the backpack and everything, I tried to keep it gender neutral. And here I added a guitar. I think I changed the color on it. Just the skill building there. I feel like probably kids in the 70s played with guitars all the time. That was like the height of rock and roll and the height of like all that cool music. And I added some sports too, because I really wanted to make it as versatile for whatever sims as possible. Alright, now jumping into live mode, I'm gonna show off the house because I did do a little bit like in the front, as you can see here. I put like a little chair and stuff there, a little gnome there. So I'm gonna give you a tour of the house as it is now, because I think I also added some like minor decorations around the house that I didn't do on camera. So I'm gonna put the walls up for this one. So here's where you come in through the front right here. And this is like, I'm gonna try to go as slow as possible, but I want to give you a good view. So this is the main entrance of the house. This is a decorative closet on the side, the main hallway. This door on the side leads to the garage, as we've seen. Here are these very two old looking cars in there with a little, I'm gonna try to go really slow, with a little laundry space over there. And then here is the living space that we have on the side. I used that cabinet that I said I was gonna use. I just changed the outside of it. And as you've seen in the speed build, yeah, this is what it looks like. I added a video camera there, so that way, like, you know, generations, you can make all those memories and stuff like that. I thought that that was nice. And that's that really old TV over there. And of course the record player we have to have the record player. And back by the main entrance of the house, we have the kitchen / dining room. So you come in through here, and here is the dining room. I ended up taking out that bookcase that I had on the side, and I put in a china cabinet, which I thought was pretty fitting, because I know that's like a really like old thing, is having like a china cabinet there. And I changed the painting that was on the wall in the first iteration of the build. And I put a few things on the mantle here, those bronze baby shoes and like that little boat that's there. And I put a little stool there because I didn't know what else to put in the corner. And the kitchen is, like I said, pretty much the same as the first iteration of the kitchen. It looks so super old, and I'm so happy with the way it came out. I love it so much. I'm probably gonna play in this build myself, just because I love the way it came out. And when you go through the kitchen through here, here is the sunroom that we have seen in all its glory. There are 2 seats there, a little shelf of like just stuff, and we have some skill building items here, the chess table and the easel. I almost forgot the word for it, the easel. And over here we have out the back like the patio area, which is just a basic grill. It looks very basic. I didn't know what to put here, but if you want to add more stuff to it, that's totally cool. You can add whatever you want to it. 2 chairs to sit, the garden area that we put in earlier, a tree house, of course. I didn't want to put one of the fancier ones because this is the 70s and it's supposed to be very basic and like bare bones. So that's the tree house. And here's the clothesline that we have too. There's a dryer in the house, but I just thought a clothesline would be kind of cool. And here's the slip and slide that we have, and just like that little tree area over there to the side. And you can come in through the garden through the side there. So going back into the house and down this hallway, we have this avocado green bathroom with medicine cabinet and this really old toilet and a bathtub in there. I like for you guys to see the houses with the walls up because I want you to have like the full effect of it. Like, I know the angle is probably slightly annoying, but like I love the full effect of the way it looks. And honestly, when I'm playing by myself, like in my houses, and when I'm having just playing with my Sims on my own, I always have the walls completely up. So here we have the little office area with that huge bookcase on the side. And here is the guest bedroom, very sparsely decorated. I almost forgot I put this like little duck lamp because I thought it was old looking and really hilarious, and I thought it went in well with this painting that we have here. And out the back here, there's like a little patio area for the guest bedroom. Just 2 seats there and some plants. I didn't want to put like a grill out there because that's what the actual patio area is for the downstairs over there. So actually, let's just go through here. So you come up through here, and here is the little hallway to the upper floor through this room. Let's go through the master bedroom. So here we have the master bedroom. I'm gonna try to go as slowly as possible. I think it looks very dated, and I mean that in the best way possible. I love it so much. I know it's not technically the 70s, but one of my inspirations for when I was building this was I was thinking about, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the show Golden Girls, but Blanche Devereaux, one of the characters on the show, her bedroom is like this very pink and like floral kind of looking room, so that was kind of my inspiration for this bedroom. And then for the bathroom, it's just completely pink. It looks like all the other bathrooms, just in pink. And here's like that half laundry room, that like weird laundry room that we have here. The laundry room without the laundry. And here's just another avocado green bathroom, but this time it has a shower in it. So it's, you know, it's fine. And here is the nursery room that we have. We have a crib here, changing table. I love the pattern that I chose for this room because I think that it looks dated in a good way as well. Nice little bookcase and everything from the Generations pack, like I said, I think it is. And I put this huge poster on the wall because I thought it kind of fit too. And here is the empty bedroom that I said that was there. You can do whatever you want with that bedroom. It's just a free space. So, you know, do whatever you want. Go crazy with that. And the last bedroom that we have here is the teens bedroom. So this bedroom is pretty, I think it's pretty plain, but I think it's enough for it to look lived in and for you to add your own stuff when your Sims start living here. So here's, I like the way it came out. Here's the bed and the desk, frisbee, you know, backpack, all that kind of stuff. So I think it looks pretty nice. Like, it looks pretty chill. Yeah, I think that is it. So that's it for our 70s house build. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you guys for commenting and subscribing and all of that good stuff. I really appreciated it. I appreciate all of your comments, all of your feedback, and I hope that you guys really like this build as much as I enjoyed building it for you guys. So I will be leaving a download link for it, either in the comments or in the description, whichever way I end up doing it. But I want this to be able to be downloaded for you guys, so I will be sure to leave the link for it. Yeah, and I think that I'm gonna be doing these speed builds pretty frequently because I like the formatting of this, and I think it came out pretty nice. So yes, thank you guys again for watching, and I will see you guys in the next build. Bye bye.